Welcome to the second episode of Embracing the Menopause Curve, the space where we soften the shame, honor the truth, and talk about the transitions that shape us as women. I'm your host, Dr. Nikki, and today we're exploring how we can bridge menopause with generational wisdom as I talk to my daughter. Whether you're in your 20s, your 40s, your 50s, or somewhere in between, this conversation is for you, because menopause isn't just a season, it's a mirror, a teacher, and a quiet revolution. It's a Friday, so it's time for us to have our menopause talk. Welcome to the Embracing the Menopause Curve podcast. So, for generations, women were praised for being young, vibrant, youthful, and just being fresh, as if, aging was actually a decline. You often hear people saying, "Don't ask a woman her age. A lady does not reveal her age," as if it's something secretive. We can't be talking about our aging. Men have historically been allowed to age gracefully, whilst women were expected to stay young, youthful. And now I think, thankfully, you find that our generation is talking more about it, talking more about aging, talking about menopause, perimenopause, midlife, and it's being brought out now that it's actually not a decline, but it's actually a story to be told. It's a powerful time when a woman begin to recognize what she wants to do, and become herself. And you find that women start asking a lot of questions about the roles that they've been having, about their desires, about who they are, who they are becoming. So during this time in menopause, it is critical for women to actually now start thinking about what they want for the rest of their lives. Perimenopause doesn't arrive with a warning at all. You get your symptoms, your brain fog, your night sweats, and your hot flashes. But in the middle of all this chaos, you start asking yourself, who am I becoming? The moods are left, right, and you don't even understand what is going on. But beneath the chaos, something powerful is actually happening. You are looking at yourself deeply and trying to understand where you fit into this life that you've got. I'm going to answer a question that has come in my DMs. And this question is, why do we go through menopause? Um, so if you look it up on social media, you find a lot of people saying that the uterus has gone on retirement, the because of men is tired of men, and ovaries are also on pension and things like that. Just funny things that people talk about, when they refer to menopause. Whichever way you look at it, you can't deny that a woman is fearfully and wonderfully made. The various processes in our body work together so that we are able to conceive and bear children. So if something is not in sync, you can actually easily see the impact of it. A woman's reproduction is managed by various hormones, but for the purposes of this podcast, as we speak about menopause, we are just going to be talking about estrogen. Though loosely called menopause, there are various phases to it depending on the levels of a hormone called estrogen. For the purpose of this podcast, we'll call the hormone gen so you can easily remember. Low levels of gen exist between birth and puberty. As a young girl grows older, there is a sharp rise of gen levels in puberty and the menstrual period starts. During the reproductive phase, where pregnancy can happen, gen levels are high, cyclical, and become regular. This is followed by the first menopausal transition called perimenopause. It starts as early as 35. Gen levels become chaotic with high spikes and low crashes. This volatility results in various symptoms. Gen levels decrease and menopause is diagnosed when there are 12 consecutive months without a period. Post-menopause, gen stabilizes and there's adjustment to the new norm. And here's the part that we don't often talk about. What a woman is going through during menopause and the wisdom she gains in menopause is actually what their daughter needs as they move through their life journey before they even reach menopause. So today we're exploring the generational bridge. What mothers wish their daughters would know, and what daughters can learn from the journey that we're going through. This will enable us to support each other emotionally, physically, and mentally as we go through our own journey and as they prepare for their own journeys. My 23-year-old daughter, Rua, will be asking me questions around my menopausal journey today. And she is an occupational therapist and is an MSc in sexual and reproductive health. Hi, Rua.
Hi, mommy.
Thank you so much for coming onto my podcast. So, welcome to Embracing the Menopause Curve. So, you're here to ask me questions?
Apparently.
Yes.
I think maybe the first thing is like, how did you know that you were transitioning into menopause?
It was very difficult. Retrospectively, I actually realized I went into perimenopause before I actually knew that I was in perimenopause. So, remember, I went on holiday and I had this skin rash and itchy. There was a lot of itchiness around the rash. So, when I came back, it had disappeared. I used some stuff on myself. But then my eyes now started getting worse. I couldn't see properly, so I had to go see an optician. I'd been to the optician and changed my glasses 4 months before, so but I thought that he'd given me a wrong prescription. Went there, he said it was fine. Then I thought to myself, I'm going to see a surgeon.
Yeah.
And I went to the surgeon because now I was thinking this could be a cancer, So I went there to the ophthalmologist and they say to me, your eyes are good, and your glasses are fine. And we can just see a little bit of what? Dryness, but otherwise it's fine. That's when the light bulb just switched on. And then that's when I realized that, oh my goodness, I was actually in perimenopause. And then I looked at it, as I said, retrospectively, and then I realized that when I even went to get the gallbladder removed, which had stones, but they were not giving a problem.
Yeah.
That was it, a lot of bloating. So that was very difficult for me. But that's how I actually then knew. This must be about 4 years ago,
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're like a medical doctor, so you were able to kind of infer for yourself and use those signs and everything like that. But some women go into menopause or perimenopause in their 30s.
Yeah.
So what are those like warning signs or first signs that then people should look out for? Because not a lot of people will be able to put the dots together with like the intricate details, like the bloating or eye dryness. Because as a woman, you always have that. You bloat during your period. You bloat not during your period. It's always something.
So I think the biggest thing that you should look for is just changes that you cannot explain. So things like your hot flashes, your night sweats. You see, night sweats, you have drenching sweats. Actually, when you're sleeping, you can actually wake up and think you've peed in your blankets.
Yeah.
And then your mood changes, your mood swings. Yeah, with your period, you have mood changes. But then this now becomes out of the norm because you're used to your cycle, right?
Yeah.
And this is now outside the norm. Brain fog, forgetfulness, things like that, and weird things like these rashes, your eyesight, and a lot of things happening at the same time that you actually cannot figure out. That those are the early warnings, and you should then be able to talk to your doctor and say, look, I'm at this age, but maybe it could be perimenopause.
Yeah, so I can understand some of the doctors are quite dismissive of it, like especially if you're in your early 30s or 35, they're like, no, you're too young to be going into menopause, and then you're stuck with like a cycle of just not knowing. So then, with all of that information, what did you learn about yourself during this, or what did you learn in general about going into menopause?
Talking about being told you're young. So when I look at it, as I said backwards, I think I was in perimenopause at 41. And when I went to my doctors, they would all say, oh, you're too young. And, coupled with that thing of always wanting to be youthful, not wanting to admit that I was getting older, then you're just stuck in that cycle of you going to see doctors, trying to figure it out. Yet, most probably, the signs and symptoms were actually there and obvious. So I've actually learned that I'm actually resilient. Looking at all these things that I've been through, your palpitations, hot flashes,
sounds like a lot.
night sweats, your mood swing up and down, and I think you got the best of that, and their body changes. weight gain. I've gained a lot of weight and I was never like this. But, it's some of these things that you then understand. And also, just also knowing that you are growing up, and you tend now to be able to talk about life freely. The burden that you had, you just take it off, and you realize that you've been carrying a lot. But with perimenopause and menopause, you find that you unburden yourself quite a lot,
Yeah.
and you take care of yourself, and you give yourself grace, just being good to yourself.
Yeah, so it doesn't sound like it's all doom and gloom, because I feel like being in my 20s, the older I get, yes, I learn more things about myself and about life, but you also like gain more anxieties about other people's opinions.
Yeah.
So are there more good parts that people really talk about menopause? Because whenever I've heard people talk about menopause, like not professionally, but just in conversation, it's like, oh, my period's gone and I'm sweating a lot.
Yeah. The period is gone for sure. And, the good thing is no more pads, no more tampons, no more PMS. So, I mean, that's a good thing. And also you get to do things that you never thought you wanted to do. You become more into yourself than you thought you would.
Yeah.
I don't know, there's this sort of like unburdening that happens, and for me that is what has been good, that I actually can and confirm that, what, I'm happier choosing the things that I want to do, and just being compassionate
so now,
towards
like,
myself.
With that freedom, I think women burden themselves with a lot, especially when you are looking at the relationships that you have.
Yeah.
Once you kind of removed that weight, what do your relationships then look like? How did it change your relationships then?
Oh no, I definitely put myself first. I actually treasure emotional safety rather than just excitement of saying, oh, I'm in a relationship and these people are coming in. My circle is smaller because I choose who I want to be part of my life in a more intricate way. What benefit is it that you're getting from me and I'm getting from you, rather than just putting myself out there? And it becomes difficult when you have a lot of people and there's a lot of noise. Being alone is something that I've actually now treasured quite a lot. I'm able to do that, and I'm very comfortable in my own space. So relationship wise, you have to be able to fit into my bracket for you to be part of my life. If not, then I'm sorry, you know what? We move on and we go to the next.
Does that then bring like anxieties when you're not in spaces with people who are not in your circle? Like, just that feeling of, okay, you're not in my circle and I've chosen myself and I've chosen peace. But obviously sometimes we have to be in spaces with people who aren't in our circles. Does that change your approach in those circles as well?
Yeah, so now you tend to say your say and not necessarily then repeat your say.
Oh,
yeah, I will say what. Yeah, and justify it. No, I'm not trying to just. I say what I feel, and again, that's the other thing. The filter just goes off. It goes away. You say what you want to say,
kind of like a man,
and take what you want, and drop what you want. It's okay. But I've said and I've given the stance of where I am. Just like, remember when we were on the other holiday in KwaZulu-Natal, I said estrogen is coming down. So it's like really and truly you get comfortable in your own opinions, and you stick by your own opinions. Of course, if you're wrong, you can then admit to say, now look, I'm sorry, here I fumbled, and we could do better. Yeah.
So then during this time, obviously you were going through a lot of emotional changes, physical changes, but as you were going through it, like you said, your relationships changed. And that's not only like romantic relationships, but also your relationships with me and your relationship with Nashe and everyone kind of around us. What do you wish that I knew during that time? Because for me, I wasn't really privy of it. Like when you would say you were feeling something, I tackled it as kind of just like a symptom. So when you say, no, I'm itchy and I have a rash, I'd be like, okay, stop itch, do a cream. Your knees are sore, we'll do massage or whatever it is. But what do you wish I knew during that time that probably could have also helped you out?
Yeah, I think it's one thing I would have really wanted was just the understanding to say that it wasn't I wasn't faking anything, that it was real, and would want our
children also to understand that we're going through something. Granted, it's better if we tell you, but at the same time, you're also not sure.
Yeah.
But just having the grace to give us space to say, look, mommy, you said this, and I do understand. So I think it's important for us to always have that, connection to say, you understand how I'm feeling. You validate my thoughts, my what I'm going through, and validate it also, because it's also good for me to know that you understand, even though we may not agree.
Yeah.
But it's always good to know that you hear me. I think so. And one thing also I would like you to know, even moving forward, is you do not have to fix me.
Yeah.
No, just sit with me, hear me. Sometimes it's not even about solutions, like what you also say, that I don't want a solution, I just want to be heard.
Yeah.
So that could be something, that could have helped and should help as we move forward.
Yeah. I think that's an important conversation to have, because a lot of the times you view your parent as like a superhero.
Yeah.
And that they figured everything out
Mm-hmm.
a lot of the time.
Yeah.
Because I haven't figured anything out.
Mm-hmm.
And when you see your parent like fumble, it's never a thought that, oh, maybe they're going through something, or they're doing this for the first time, or maybe she's just a girl, actually. A lot of the times you're doing it to me.
Yeah.
And you're doing it purposely because you know better, but
Yes.
in you knowing better, you're doing this.
Yeah.
So I think it's also about, like, even extending beyond menopause, just giving grace to
each
you.
other.
And also, I'm sorry for the times I didn't give you grace, and just like realizing that you are just a girl going through this.
Oh yeah, inside you actually feel like you're still like 18.
Yeah.
But then when you try and climb, walk up a staircase or something, that's when you realize that no, you're grown up, and your body is not the same.
Yeah.
However, it's very difficult also for you to understand things if I haven't said it out.
Yeah.
So I'm learning also to be able to say it out and not also just react. Taking a step back, I mean, for the both of us actually helps. Take a step back and try and figure out if this is just because you're reacting just because this is reflecting on you, or how you're feeling or projecting. It's always good to take a step back, before we have conflicts, or we confront each other, or we respond.
Yeah.
And I know definitely you're trying, and I've seen it a lot, that sometimes, I blurt out something, I say something, but you take a step back and not necessarily retaliate with the same tone, because you understand that, there's stuff that is going through. Yeah. In my case also, I do try to understand that you're also going through what you're going through.
Yeah.
And, raising you, I've always tried to remember what it was like being at that age, because at 23, I mean, the world is just open for you. You've got a lot of things going on for you. Whereas I'm now in perimenopause, and I'm trying just to sit down and relax,
Yeah.
whereas you're up and trying to go. So it's also trying to understand the pace of the other person for you to relate well.
That 20 slump is a different conversation, because I have some friends who are getting married and having babies, and some friends who are still in uni and doing all that, and finding myself in that space is definitely difficult. And navigating my own emotions, my own hormones, and things like that.
Yeah.
But within that, obviously, I still want to support you. So how best can I support you, like, as we move forward, when you feel like you're emotionally drowning and you're sinking, and even like the physical intensity of it, without offering solutions, I guess, because I don't know. But how do you think I can best support you in that?
When you feel, or when you see that, maybe something is off, I think it's also good for you to tell me, because sometimes I won't know. It's also good to just say, mommy, what's going on, ask me, and then I will take it back and say, oh, okay, so maybe this is off, and I need to recalibrate around issues like that, or something like that. And having conversations when we're not in conflict, I think that's also helps. Like, even this, it helps to understand each other in terms of where is one at, and what should we do if we get into problems.
I'm assuming that also goes with de-escalating when like there's high conflict. Granted, there will be times where like you're up here and I'm also up here.
Yeah.
Because that's just the nature of relationships.
Yes.
It's easier said than done for one person to be down here and one person to be
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
So then how do I do that? Like how do I always, because I know that I'm a hothead as well.
No, but you've done well now. You know, in the past year or so, you've done quite well, and I think at the end of it, and I've always said this to you as you were growing up, at the end of it, you should always remember, mommy loves me.
Yeah.
And my love will trump any negativity or negative feelings you think I have against you or towards you.
Yeah.
I always love you. And most of the time, actually all the time, I do this thinking that I'm saying something good for you, helping you out in this way, which may not necessarily resonate with you, but that is always the intention from my end. Yeah.
So, with all of that being said, what can I take and what do I take from your menopause journey so that I can apply it now in my early to mid 20s? Because I don't want to wait until I reach menopause to then have these big revelations. Because if I know that this is the information that I should be like discovering and learning from, how do I bring that back to so that I don't have to wait until then?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and I've written it down in terms of the generational wisdom that I would want to give you. You know, I recently watched a podcast, and the question was, "Who are you when no one needs you?"
Mm.
I mean, it's a question that sits deep into someone. Like, when no one needs you, who are you? So you should now stop tying your worth to productivity or to perfection, right? Menopause often forces us, women, to confront how much of our identity was built on doing, pleasing, and achieving. You know, doing things for you, the children, doing things for the relatives, the spouse, the husbands, it becomes something that is inbuilt in us. And also our culture, makes us do things for everyone else apart from yourself.
Yeah.
So you should learn to prioritize yourself. You should put yourself first and ask yourself that question: who am I when no one needs me? Right? And then learn to listen to your body before it screams. I realized that I pushed myself to exhaustion, ignored symptoms, and treated my body like a machine. Yet, no, you actually need to listen to your body. I had a lot of signs that happened, way before, but I just didn't listen and respond to my body. You need to build boundaries early instead of repairing burnout later, because it burns you out, right? When you do not have boundaries and you tolerate everything. So, you want to do it now rather than later now where you already burnt out. You don't want to be backcycling, and that is not good. And also it breaks a lot of people relationships and some trust that has been built. You don't want to get to that. So learn that as you're going. So understand your hormones as allies, not as as enemies. Huh? Track your cycle, understand your phases, notice patterns in your moods, your energy, and creativity. Don't wait until now you're in perimenopause for you now to start diarizing all those things, because this gives you emotional literacy about yourself, and you'll be able to actually note that things have changed and shifted, right? And practice self-compassion. Please just give yourself grace, like what we said. Compassion before life demands it from you, and build a life that fits you. It fits you.
Yeah.
No one else. It should fit you. There is no one that impresses. You don't need to impress other people. You have to do it for yourself. So be kind to yourself. Many women reach menopause and realize they build lives based on expectations and desires of other people, not necessarily themselves. Huh?
Yeah.
big thing, learn that life can change. Change is inevitable, it's natural, and you shouldn't be frightened. Menopause does teach you that, because one day you are young, and then the next day you now have night sweats, palpitations, and you need to know that life can change and you move with it.
Yeah.
You shift with the curve, right? And then build emotional resilience before the storm arrives. Cultivate emotional intelligence, and through therapy, journaling, the right community. And I know you know when you need therapy. And yeah, it's good for you to be able to pull that together to build up your emotional resilience. Yeah.
Yeah.
And see aging as a path towards power, not as a disappearance, or you're being taken out. No, you are actually, you have power now just to do the things you want to do and to understand life better.
Yeah.
And then the last one, baby girl, that I want you to move forward with is honor pleasure, joy, and desire without shame. Right? Many women rediscover pleasure in midlife
Mm.
after years of suppressing it, right? So you don't even know what you like. You don't even know who you like, what exactly you are. You often then ask yourself, who am I? And this is at the end, in midlife. Why aren't we doing it now and figuring it out and even liking certain things that, we never thought we liked, and knowing that things change. You might not have liked soccer. Maybe years later, you're liking soccer. It's okay. You
Yeah.
can change and you can shift. Many women in midlife don't even know what color they like,
Yeah.
because we are pouring out and filling other people's cups instead of us doing things for ourselves. So, I mean, those are the few things that I really want you to take, baby girl, so that, as you prepare also for your journey in womanhood, in adulting, and of course, eventually getting into perimenopause and then menopause.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think like that's a lot to take in, but it's also a lot of validation
Yes.
for myself, because there's a whole like firstborn daughter syndrome and everything like
Yes.
that. A lot of the time I judge every action that I do
Mhm.
based on how I think that you are going to feel or you are going to react, or how I think daddy's going to feel and daddy's going to react based off of what I think that you guys wanted for my life,
Yeah.
which is a lot of pressure
Yeah. It's a lot of pressure.
on myself. And then also just like being able to realize that it's not what you want for my life, what
Yeah.
anyone else wants. What do I want for my life? What
Yeah.
have I always
Yeah.
wanted for my life?
Yeah.
And how do I curate the life that I would be proud of?
Yes.
Because I never want to get to a point where it's, I've reached, I don't know, 40 or 50, and I'm like, oh, my life looks pristine according to everybody else's standards,
Absolutely.
but not my
Yeah.
standards.
Oh, no, it can't be like that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that
Yeah.
is important for me to learn and be able to be steadfast in. Like if I make a decision about my life, I mean, it can all blow up, but
Yeah.
it's my decision that I
decision.
chose
Yeah. You stand with your
to go with
decisions
that.
and your choices, right? Not trying to move with other people's choices. Your father and I, we give you advice. That's our
Yeah,
role. And that will never be raised. We'll give you advice, whether you like it or not. But then it's up to you to choose then what to do based on that advice.
yeah,
Right? We can never force you to do one thing. We'll give you advice. And if things go wrong, we are here to catch you, no matter what age you are. Right?
yeah,
We are here to say that it's going to be okay. There's always an alternative, and we'll figure it out.
yeah,
So that's one thing that I want you also to remember, that we are here as your anchors. Yeah,
yeah,
not necessarily as your compass,
yeah.
right? We are your anchors, not your
Fuck it.
compass.
That's amazing. Thank you, mommy.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for opening up
Mhm,
yourself
mhm.
and allowing me to ask you these questions, because I think a lot of times we don't have conversations, as not you and I, but like mother and daughters don't have
Yeah,
conversations that are truthful and honest, because mom puts up a certain persona and their daughter puts up a certain persona, but the bridging between we are both women.
Yeah.
And what does that mean for us as women? I think is amazing.
Yeah.
And I think you're doing amazing with this podcast. You're doing great. And I'm so proud of you for finally following your dreams.
Thank you.
Taking it and doing it. And I will share it all the time. I'll always share it. I'll post it on my TikToks. And I'll be back.
So thank you so much, Rua, for asking me those questions. They are very valid questions. And, I do hope that your generation also gets to listen to this and they just give their mothers, their aunties, their sisters some grace as we are moving through this phase. Because definitely, if you're still alive when you get to the point of getting to perimenopause, you will experience the same thing.
Yeah.
And you do not want the younger generation to look at you and think you're faking it, you're not strong enough, you're not doing the right thing. And yet you also have emotional turmoils that are happening inside yourself, things that you are trying to grasp and understand how to move forward with. So yeah, so we hope Amatuke are very understanding of us and will give us more grace as we move and embrace the menopause curve.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining me on Embracing the Menopause Curve today. If today's episode reminded you of your mother, your daughter, your sister, or even a younger version of yourself, take a moment to honor that connection. Menopause is definitely not a solitary journey. It's a shared story passed from woman to woman, generation to generation. If this episode spoke to you, share it with someone who just needs some gentleness today. Please feel free to add any comments on this podcast and follow me on my Instagram page, Embrace the Menopause Curve. Until next time, take care of your body, take care of your heart, and take care of your beautiful self. Let's menopause together.